And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to. Oh, this is something we didn't even discuss before the episode went live. Welcome to the final episode of season 1 of History's Greatest Idiots, even episode 25, the show in which we look back through the corridors of history and bring you the greatest mistakes ever made by humanity in an effort to give you lessons that you can learn from and never repeat again. But who are we kidding? We're humans. We love making mistakes, and we love even more talking about them. Joining me as ever is my amazing, awesome co-host, Derek. Derek, how are you doing? How has your week been?
I am doing fantastic. It's always such a nice run-up and introduction. Like I'm always so flattered. Yeah, no, man, I'm doing good. I feel really chill. Like I've just been chilling for like all week, and it feels like for weeks straight I've been just hanging out.
It's really nice, isn't it? Because obviously Christmas is kind of a mad time of year, but when you get that like a bit of a break, I think I had 11 days because we had like obviously with Christmas, and then we had a bunch of bank holidays, so everything kind of fell into place. So over in the UK, I took about 5 or 6 days off, and it ended up, because of the bank holiday schedule, I ended up with like 11 straight days off.
Oh, wow.
It was great. Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of that, because when you're married, you have family, you do a lot of toing and froing to see your family members, because you're the person working, and the majority of people I know are either retired or back in different parts of the country. So we did a lot of traveling, but actually when we were back on Anglesey, we got to walk on the beach, and we got to eat really delicious food, and we got to sleep in and put our feet up, and all of it in a really beautiful location surrounded by this massive garden and big house. And yeah, it's really nice to be able to do that. And then you come back to work and you're like, fuck, I have so much to do.
Yeah, it's weird. I need to take a vacation where I go somewhere, because like this whole last month I was off Mondays and Fridays, just so like I didn't all of December I didn't work more than 3 days in a week. It was just weird. But it was also really nice, and I didn't have a whole lot of places to go either, so
that's true. So you can kind of make your own time, can't you? I'm on the side of I can't remember his name escapes me now. It's a Welsh philosopher who said that if a society works more than 4 days a week, it's failed as a society. So I kind of agree with my fellow countrymen on that one. I wish I could work 4 days a week, but I'm happy making the big bucks. Anyway, so we've had a lovely Christmas and a lovely New Year festive period. Derek, who is your final idiot for season 1 of History's Greatest Idiots?
See, now I was all over the place with this because I've been diving in and listening to all kinds of like history podcasts and stuff, and I came across like Hightailing Through History, who gave us a shout out. They awesome. Do really good work. Yeah, they do. There's similar format, but I weaved through there, and then I weaved to where I always go, Netflix, and I watched a ton of documentaries, and came across a new one that it's been out for a long time, and I don't know why I haven't watched the show before. It's not really a documentary, but it's like a political comedy satire Daily Show vibe, because it's Patriot Act with Hassan Minhaj.
Yes. Yeah. No, I've heard of, I think I may have watched the trailer for that, actually.
And he just fired through people that could be possible candidates for History's Greatest Idiots.
Oh, it's brilliant. What a resource. Thank you.
And I landed on the guy that I have today, and it's an international fraudster, Joe Low.
His name's Joe Low?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Even the guy's name sounds a little fraudulent, right?
Yeah, right?
Come on. He's like, I know he didn't choose his name, but he sounds kind of like a knockoff already. It's like, babe, I got you this Louis Vuitton. And she's like, this says Larry Vinton. And but anyway, the story of Joe Low had me going down this deep rabbit hole of crazy nonsense and really hilarious but terrible shit. And I don't have the time to get into everything, so I'm just going to get to the best parts of it.
Yes, give us the cliff notes, if you will.
All right. Joe Low worked in tandem with Goldman Sachs to like outright rob an entire country through the use of a country's sovereign wealth fund.
Wow. What a prick.
And I should restate that.
Okay.
He allegedly stole an entire country's
Allegedly.
money
Thank
because he hasn't been convicted of anything. I don't believe he's
Yes.
currently an international fugitive sought by the
There's that.
authorities.
There's that cherry on top. He's on the run. We love idiots that are on the run. They always make mistakes.
Yeah, well, you know, he's on the run, but I feel like people know where he is, and we'll get into that too. So,
okay.
The shit that this guy did with the loot that he got is the best part of him, and I can't wait to tell you about it. But we'll start at the beginning.
Sure.
Mr. Joe Low started off life with money. He was born into a wealthy Malaysian family and grew up in Georgetown, which is the capital city of the Malaysian state of Penang.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard of Georgetown. Obviously former colonial like thing, British Empire stuff going on there.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah, you hear a name, you're like, oh, we've been there. Oh God.
Well, the beautiful thing about his wealthy family of Malaysian Chinese descent is that they maintained a low profile, which in my opinion is like true gangster stuff where you're not like calling attention to yourself. Not that I'm calling them gangsters or anything.
No, but it's like it's from the playbook, isn't it? Like if you are in the business of doing some shady shit, you either have a public profile that is squeaky clean for the most part, Ellen DeGeneres, or you basically don't have a profile at all. You are under the radar of pretty much everyone, including law enforcement and the general public, unless you're Al Capone.
And that's where they were. Low profile, under the radar, not causing any trouble. I respect the quiet money, unless the quiet money is dark money over here. Never mind. So Joe Low, his granddad, Lo Meng Tak, got into iron ore mining and liquor distilleries in Thailand in the 1960s and 70s.
Nice.
And then he got into real estate in Thailand and Malaysia and Hong Kong. And Joe Low's father...
Sorry, did you say Hong Kong?
Hong Kong, yes.
Holy shit, that's real estate in Hong Kong? That's like...
He's stacking money. They're getting...
Yeah, fucking hell.
And his son, which Joe Low's father...
Right.
Tan Sri Larry Low Hok Peng.
Holy shit. That's a lot of names.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, he founded the investment holding company MWE, and then along comes Joe, and he's born into this super wealthy, chill family. And for the most part, in his younger days, he keeps a low profile. Anyway, later in life, he gets sent to Harrow School in London to continue his education. And from what I understand, that's like a really prestigious, super elite school with tons of famous alumni.
So we've covered Harrow before. We covered Harrow when we did Mark Thatcher. And Harrow is kind of like... Eton's like the #1 school in the UK. It's like where all the future prime ministers go and where all the fucking spoiled rich bastards go and all that. And they all wear their special uniform. And basically the school is the entire town of Eton. It's just a fucking sprawling estate of beautiful buildings and all of these different things. Harrow's like, depending on who you talk to, it's like 2 or 3 in that list of best schools in the country. So it's right up there. Mark Thatcher left Harrow with a really poor level of education, but he only got there because his mum was in the Tory party anyway. So for this guy to get into Harrow, he's either very educationally strong or his dad's got a shitload of money. So,
well, I don't know nothing about his education, but I do know that he was there to rub shoulders with the students in powerful families. He did. Thatchers. He well, not at this time.
No. Okay.
He rubbed shoulders with the Middle Eastern royals and those from Brunei.
Oh, nice.
And he developed a close relationship with Riz Aziz, the stepson of former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razik. Razik. I don't know. Damn it. Razik. There it is.
Yeah.
That relationship actually plays a key role in the heist with, him being the Malaysian prime minister and all.
Of course, yeah.
After his time in London, he enrolled in the undergraduate program at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton Business School, which he must have been smart because, he's getting into some great schools.
Absolutely. And that's impressive.
I feel like the Wharton Business School has turned out a lot of people that do shady stuff with money, though.
Well, business schools are always going to be a bit of a haven for like 25% crooks. At a certain point, like there's going to be a few people who are like, I'm going to make a lot of money very fast. And you immediately, like, your radar should be, your alarm bells should be going off. But yeah, I feel like business schools do churn out at least a few con artists. But yeah.
Well, what he did was some stuff and some things, and he continued to develop connections with Malaysians and Kuwaitis and Jordanian interests, and started managing money for friends and family. Now, I just told you who all his friends he was making were. So,
so he had lots of money in
that he's managing
possession. Yeah, that he's managing.
And it sounds totally innocent, but anyway, Joe's first major deal was with the Kuwait Finance House's purchase of a luxury high-rise apartment in Kuala Lumpur in 2006. Nice. Yeah. Oh. That's I'm sorry. I'm bad at words.
No, that was good. That was good. Right. Just like he's Hong Kong, Kuala Lumpur. This guy is going for good cities.
Well,
like, to invest
that was
in.
$87 million deal was his first major deal out of school.
Jeez.
So it's huge. And according to the New York Times, by 2007, Joe Low had formed an investment group that included a Malaysian prince, Kuwaiti sheikh, yeah, yes. And a friend from the United Arab Emirates who went on to become the ambassador to the United States in Mexico and is now one of the most powerful right-hand persons for the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi.
Geez, so this guy has some serious connections from his time in Harrow and Con Artist University, and
he's got some juice. Yes.
Yeah.
In 2010, he consolidated his fortune into Janul Capital, where he was the principal steward. And as the principal steward of Janul, he cultivated relationships with some of the world's largest and most reputable sovereign wealth funds, including Abu Dhabi's and Kuwaitis, the Abu Dhabi Mabudala Development Company, the Kuwaiti Investment Authority. And for those that aren't really savvy on what a sovereign wealth fund is, that's the state-owned investment fund that invests in real and financial assets like stocks, bonds, real estate, precious metals, or other alternative investments when, like, the country has only a few major exports. They kind of diversify their funds by putting it into a sovereign wealth fund.
Right.
And it allows them to get their fingers into all kinds of things. So they don't have their eggs all in one basket.
Smart.
Anyway, back to Janul. When he's at Janul, he's connected to all sorts of major deals from 2012 to 2014, including the acquisition of New York's Park Lane Hotel for $660 million.
Sweet Jesus.
And he also did the 2013 deal with the Wicktiff Group of Mabudala and handled the takeover of Coastal Energy in 2014 for $2.2 billion. So he's working his way up. The deals are getting bigger. He's getting involved with EMI's music publishing, the Blackstone Group, Sony Corporation, all kinds of stuff.
Wow, this guy. He's doing really well. Those are some very good things to go in for. Jesus.
And you would think, hey, you know what? You've got a lot going on. You're doing good things. You're on the right track. You're kicking ass and taking names. Don't fuck it up, bud.
But
here's where the business starts to get a little bit interesting and fun. Okay. Jolo supported Aziz in the establishment of Red Granite Pictures, which is a Hollywood production company that was responsible for films that included the awesome movie Wolf of Wall Street.
No way. It was involved in that.
But it also did Dumb and Dumber too. So anyway, Both of those movies, though, the recovery of rights were subject to actions for recovery by the U.S. government in 2013 and 2016 because of Red Granite's involvement with the 1MDB scandal, which is Jolo's baby. So, remember when I said Jolo was rubbing elbows and developing relationships, and one of those relationships was Najib Razik?
Yes.
In 2009, Najib Razik became the prime minister of Malaysia and the president and board of advisors for the 1MDB, which is the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund.
Right.
And then, though he didn't have any direct title or involvement with the 1MDB, he didn't have an official position.
Okay.
But he did have some investments in strategic interactive things that happened that he said were consulting and at arm's length and legally sound.
Yeah, whenever any consulting's such a weird thing. There are consultants out there, financial consultants, media people. I've known a lot of media consultants in my time. Some of them do really good work. A lot of them are professors or like doctors. They're very highly respected people in their fields. But then again, you get real chances who are like, oh, I know this. I don't know. I think you might just be an idiot who's trying their luck. And then all of a sudden they're earning a reasonable living by basically doing nothing and being hired by these companies as almost like a tax dodge. It's a really weird, you never understand because they never do any actual work, but they just seem to get money for it. It's crazy.
Well, what kind of idiot would be like, yeah, I'm getting rich doing illegal and shady shit? You got to be a consultant.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so in October of 2016, Interpol published a red notice on Singapore's request to locate and arrest Low in an investigation related to the 1MDB fund that flowed through its jurisdiction.
Right.
The request for assistance to provisionally arrest him was sent to the Hong Kong Department of Justice in April of 2016, but the request was rejected by the Hong Kong authorities.
Ooh. Okay.
Because he's got juice there. And though he's an international fugitive, he's been hanging out in Hong Kong and China, no problem, for all this entire time.
Yeah.
In case anybody wanted to know where he was.
Exactly. It's kind of Hong Kong's a weird place because, it was a British holding, I guess you would say, whatever it was called, up until 1997. And then the Chinese authorities promised to slowly introduce like their way of governance over like a period of 25 years. And they didn't. They just like immediately like, fuck you, we're going in. And people have been pushing back ever since, increasingly so in the last few years. But it's one of those cities because it's so big and because there's so much money and wealth and power there that it's very easy. If you want to get lost and you have enough money, you can get lost in Hong Kong very easily.
Oh, yeah. And there's no doubt. I think that is one of the places where you disappear when you're a fugitive with tons of money.
Shit, yeah.
Anyway, after the Malaysian general election in 2018, there was a new prime minister, Mahathir Mohamad. And he reopened the extensive investigations into the 1MDB scandal and issued some arrest warrants of his own against Jolo. And I know I just said he's hanging out in Hong Kong and China, and you're wondering, I'm sure, what happened? What happened to the $4.5 or $4.2 billion that he siphoned off into his own accounts?
Yeah.
Well, that's where it's like the coolest part of the story. He blew a ton of money just being totally baller. Allegedly, he purchased a $325,000 white Ferrari as a wedding gift for Kim Kardashian in 2011.
What? Why? What's he going to get out of that deal?
I think it has something to do with something I'll talk about in a minute.
Okay.
The Department of Justice reported to have sought restitution from a ton of other celebrities that received gifts from him as well, though, because I think he was trying to buy his way into being a celebrity. But among the people that had to give stuff up was Leonardo DiCaprio, who returned Picasso and Basquiat paintings.
Okay. Wow. Holy shit.
That were a gift from Jolo. Also, Victoria's Secret angel model Miranda Kerr had to return the diamond jewelry with a market value of $8 million that he gave her while they were dating.
Wait, she was dating him?
Oh, yeah.
Is he a looker? Because she was married to Orlando Bloom.
He's kind of a goofy looking dude.
Yeah, but he's got
he looks like a finance guy.
I don't want to cast aspersions, but he's shady. He must be very charismatic.
I'm betting. Dude, he's kind of charismatic. He's like friends with Chey. You know, the K-pop star?
Yeah.
He hired him for a bunch of concerts.
I bet he did. I bet Chey took that money gladly. Why not?
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, so she had to give back her jewelry, but she got to keep the transparent piano that he bought her from the crystalline company that is valued as high as $1 million. But she got to keep it because it wouldn't fit through the door to get moved out. God. And if they did try to wiggle it out the door, it might get damaged and it would end up costing way too much money. So she gets to just keep it.
Oh, that's amazing. I feel like if there had been a more authoritarian, punitive measure for that, they'd have been like, no, we're ripping the fucking roof off the house and we are airlifting that goddamn piano out. $1 million. First of all, I have a number of questions about the piano itself. Were the keys see-through? Because it would be very difficult to play if you couldn't see the ebony and ivory next to each other. But like, why? Who wants a see-through piano? What the fuck? Why?
It's not like there's a lot of interesting shit going on inside of it.
Wires and like felt and shit. Why would you bother? Jesus Christ. Okay. So Miranda Kerr accepted a see-through piano. And she gets to keep it. So great. I guess it's part of the house. It increases the value of wherever she's living now. But
yes,
he is trying to buy friends, isn't he? Let's not beat around the bush.
And here we go. His best use of the stolen funds is that Jolo also invested $100 million into the production of The Wolf of Wall Street, which was subsequently nominated for Oscars. Leonardo Dicaprio even specially thanked Lowe for his involvement during one of the awards ceremonies. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Red Granite was that production company that I told you about that's backed by Lowe. Mm-hmm. Once they got the awards and the Oscar nominations, they threw lavish parties in Cannes and invited Kanye West, who came and performed. I imagine that had something to do with the wedding gift being wrapped into that.
I've got just a quick thing on The Wolf of Wall Street. Now, obviously, it was a huge success. You know, DiCaprio got nominated for an Oscar. He didn't win. It was like Margot Robbie's big break in cinema. Like, she'd done a few things, but this was like a big breakthrough. And everyone was like, oh, wow, this woman can really act. And Jonah Hill was really good in it as well. He's been really good in a load of stuff recently, but he was really good in that. $100 million for that film. And I understand, obviously, you've got DiCaprio, who's probably like 25 million, and Jonah Hill's probably like 10, and Scorsese, who's probably like another 20 million or whatever. Where the fuck has all that money gone? Because it's not Avengers level special effects or anything. Like, DiCaprio spends 5 minutes crawling on the ground under the influence of Quaaludes, trying to get into a car. Like, did you telling me that scene cost $2 million? No fucking way.
I mean, it cost a couple $100,000 just to wreck that car the way he did.
Fuck yes, it did. but what, $100 million for that film? That feels like a lot of money for a film that would, with all the special effects they would have had for like the boat and the helicopter stuff and some of the driving. You probably could have made it with half that money.
I would think maybe. Yeah. Leo might not have done it, but
I get it. Yeah, it's a prestige picture, but prestige pictures tend not to cost $100 million. Really? Well,
look at it this way. Let me break it down for you. It is a shady businessman that does shady shit and parties like a baller, using possibly ill-gotten gains to fund a film about a shady businessman that partied like a madman that was based on another real-life financial criminal. So it was like life imitating art, imitating life in fucking real time.
Yes. History is a flat circle. Perfect. Amazing. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's amazing.
In 2017, the U.S. government sought the return of millions of dollars worth of assets that were skimmed from the Malaysian 1MDB wealth fund.
Right.
And
Yeah.
on November 1st, 2018, Lowe and two ex-Goldman Sachs bankers, Tim Leissner and Robert Ni Kong Hua, were indicted by the United States Department of Justice in connection with the 1MDB allegations.
Right. Wow.
On Halloween of 2019, Joe Lowe entered into a global comprehensive settlement with the U.S. government that forever resolved all civil, criminal, administrative proceedings concerning asset forfeiture. Forfeitures. Yes.
There we go.
But it didn't absolve him of the money laundering and bribery charges and all of that other stuff that was tied onto the criminal cases.
Sure.
Also in 2019, Joe Lowe made the news for his connection with the Burning Sun scandal, where he was implicated in YG Entertainment's K-pop sex scandal. So
yeah, I remember that. Holy shit, that was a big deal.
He's being a dick somewhere else with famous people.
Unbelievable.
On June 11th, 2021, just the other day, the U.S. Department of Justice announced charges related to the violation of United States federal law and named Low Tech Joe 39. Yes, dude's 39 years old.
Christ.
And accomplice Parakazrel Michael Michelle, 48. They were alleged to have conspired with Elliot Brody related to undisclosed lobbying campaigns. So, like dark money stuff.
Yeah, lobbying's it's a really fucking dodgy game.
Well, he's looking at 5 to 10 years per count on those charges, but the lobbying campaigns were allegedly aimed to influence Trump's administration and the Department of Justice to drop investigations on Joe Lowe in connection with the 1MDB.
Fucking hell, this guy. I could have seen that working had they seen that through.
Well, the goal of it was to get rid of the embezzlement investigations,
right?
But they tried to sneak on because he got tagged in with the Chinese government on this.
Okay.
They wanted a Chinese dissident sent back to China as well as part of the deal.
Right.
That's what they were lobbying to get done. Right now, he's still on the run, in and out of China.
Sure.
Don't know how much money he's got left. I could use a Ferrari or a clear piano in case you're listening, Joe. I think your name's awesome.
I'd happily do the legwork to remove Miranda Kerr's door if it means I can get a see-through $1 million piano.
Speaking of that, I'm looking for funding for my film. if you're listening, sir.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I wouldn't take money from you.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but now we wait and see. Is he going to be caught and held accountable? Who knows? But is he one of history's greatest idiots? What do you think, dude?
It's really interesting. He's very he's like a lot of the people that we've covered in terms of con artists and skimmers, and so many financial people that we cover steal money that isn't theirs. They're not like, this is the thing. They're not proper financial people, right? Financial people, you Warren Buffetts of the world, you can talk about ethics in money and all you want, but they typically make money by gambling correctly or like analyzing stuff. This guy is just a thief. He's just a high-level thief, basically.
Right. They like design so really complicated investment strategies that siphoned off like $200 million in Goldman Sachs fees, dude.
That's fucking insane. And I mean, Goldman Sachs have a lot of responsibility here as well. I mean, so many financial companies are dirty in this day and age, but Goldman Sachs, fucking the devastation they've caused to like populations in the United States, and they're still doing shit like this now. It's crazy.
No, they robbed an entire country, man. That's the money that is basically like the retirement funds, the just in case shit for all of Malaysia.
Oh, that's so fucking bad. I really hate it when you like people who've worked their whole lives and saved, and then it's just gone like that. And that's just horrible. That's one of the worst kind of financial crimes you can do. He's clearly not very good, because even though Like he came up with a thing where he settled civil and criminal charges in the United States, but he's still looking at decades in prison. Like, this guy is not a good negotiator. Like, you
Nah,
want the
not really.
slate wiped clean, don't you? Like, I
Yeah.
will give you billions of dollars if it all goes away. Like, that's the negotiation, right? You don't like, oh, I'll get rid of this, but we'll, then he's still looking at decades in prison. What the hell's wrong with you?
Maybe
So,
that's how he got them bribery charges.
I mean, probably. It probably is like, that's not negotiation. Sorry. So as far as this guy is concerned, he isn't very good because he's 39. Did you say?
Yeah. Yep.
39, and he's already on the run. Usually, I mean, if we look at someone like a Bernie Madoff, who wasn't caught until he was 75 odd or something like that, like, he was an old man with grandchildren at the time, and his poor sons, one of them ended up with leukemia and the other one killed himself because of what he'd done. I feel like this guy's not a very good thief. I mean, yes, he's lived quite the life and, rubbed shoulders with people and had a lot of money, but there's no way he can, his head pops up and he's done for, basically. Someone will take him out, whether it's in prison or he'll get assassinated. So with this guy, due to his sheer incompetence, I have to lower it a little bit, but I will say that about an 84, I think, for Jolo. He gets extra marks for having a fucking hilarious name.
Oh yeah,
because every time you said Jolo, part of me wanted to go YOLO or some stupid shit like that.
Right?
No, it took everything to keep that in me, Derek, when you were talking. But yeah, I think about an 84 for this guy because, and again, it's another one of these situations with some of the people that we've covered. This isn't the end of the story. There's more to this. He will either get caught and sent to prison, or we won't hear about him for years, and he'll show up somewhere and he'll, I don't know. He's probably going to be involved with the wrong kind of people, and someone will try and, rub him out eventually.
He might already be in some of that cement that China's been pouring.
Yeah,
so
he might. He's in a part of the world where corruption is rampant, but occasionally the governments will crack down on it in the harshest way possible, and you will be disgraced, expelled, beaten, disappeared, all sorts of crazy shit. So we may not have heard the last from him, or we definitely won't hear anything from him until someone digs up his bones in like 40 years or whatever. He might be the next like Jimmy Hoffa. He might be the Malaysian Jimmy Hoffa or something. Yeah,
I feel like he might have partied with the guy that you're going to present.
He probably did. Because every fucker's partied with this arsehole. So thank you for that nice segue. Yes, my idiot this week, and we've for the first time we've kind of advertised it in advance, although I did with Mark Thatcher as well, because anything to run down Margaret Thatcher. But this week's idiot from me is Logan Paul, and I've titled my article "Logan Paul Successfully Stupid."
Oh yeah, that's a perfect fitting title right there, sir.
Yeah, right there. I resisted the urge to go with a model idiot from Zoolander, but yeah, successfully stupid. Logan Alexander Paul was born on April Fool's Day. Fuck me, I've just realized that.
That makes sense.
That works on so many levels. April 1st, 1995. He grew up in Ohio with younger brother Jake, who's also a fucking idiot. Also a YouTuber and internet personality, whatever the fuck that means. Anyone with an internet presence is an internet personality, as far as I'm concerned.
They'll do anything for money. That's what that means.
That just succubus of, give me all of the attention. Paul began creating internet videos for a YouTube channel called Zoosh when he was 10 years old. And you look at pictures of him when he was 10, he looked like a proper fucking goof. Jesus Christ.
He looked like a proper Zoosh.
Yeah, he looked like a Zoosh. What kind of a fucking name is that? He attended Westlake High School, achieving the ranks of the Plain Dealers All-Star linebacker on the football team in 2012. So he's got, okay, I'm gonna rip this guy a new asshole, but he does have decent athletic ability.
Yes. Yeah.
Not, he's no fucking like Kurt Angle or I'm quoting wrestlers now, Brock Lesnar or Floyd Mayweather or Usain Bolt. Like, you think of pinnacle athletes in like he's not one of them.
He's not one of them, but I wouldn't challenge him to a celebrity boxing match.
No, I would not fight this man, but I'm pretty certain the vast majority of professional athletes could whoop him in pretty much any discipline. He's just a good college athlete, probably a decent college athlete. That'll be about it. He also qualified for state level Ohio High School Athletic Association 2013 Division I Wrestling Individual Championships, which is like, it's a lot of shit going on there, but it's not, what's the college thing that they do, NCAA wrestling. Yeah, he never made NCAA varsity or any of that shit. So
I'm surprised he even got out of high school. So
this is the thing. How the fuck did this guy get out of high school? We'll talk about it anyway. By high school, Paul had transitioned to the now defunct video sharing app Vine, which has created, I mean, for its short existence in the sphere of social media apps, it created a lot of stars. It was garbage, but it created a lot of stars that have enduring popularity with a much younger audience than you or I. So
I don't see the difference between Vine and TikTok, other than you can go longer than like 5 seconds or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing rehashed and owned by the Chinese government to steal your data. That's basically what TikTok is.
Same shit, new spy
same
packaging.
Shit, new things. Follow us on TikTok. He started sharing Vine videos that usually included him doing stunts, telling jokes, playing pranks. Some of his Vine sketches involved him murdering his friend by running him over with his car, and his brother Jake kneecapping him so they could park in a handicap zone. So basically,
he was ripping off Jackass with really bad, horrible shit.
Really bad, horrible 6-second shit. Basically, they were hyperactive edgelords who like they just took their shirts off. It's just like, we're going to do stupid stuff, and also to draw more people in, we'll take our clothes off. Some of them, in fairness, I have to be, because like 6 seconds of comedy is a difficult thing. Some of the Vines are actually pretty good. Some of the short 6 seconds ones, I've gone, actually, you know what? That's quite funny. That was well thought through. I doubt Jake Paul came up with it or Logan Paul, but how memorable can 6 seconds of content really be?
It depends on if she's pregnant afterwards or not.
Exactly. That's a very good point. 4 seconds for cuddling. Paul amassed a huge following on the platform. By the time Vine shut down, he had 9.4 million followers on Vine. You can look back at all of his Vines, right? Every single Vine he ever made. It'll take you 10 minutes.
Get out.
I'm not kidding. There's a video on YouTube of every single Vine he ever made, and it's about 10.5 minutes. And I was watching it going, oh, murder, oh, kneecapping. Oh, that's not bad. Oh, that's quite funny. Oh, wait, that's really fucking childish. That's stupid. That's misogynistic. That's racist. And it's like, yeah, it's a snowball effect of horror.
Well, I feel like I'm watching this later.
Go for it. If you got 10 minutes, it's not like it'll take you long. By the time Paul attended college, yes, he attended college, his YouTube channel had attained a modest following via his work on Vine. He majored in industrial engineering at Ohio University. How the hell did he get in? If, that's a difficult, like, engineering is not an easy thing to get into. So
he's I think he's playing at being stupid, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's part of the thing. But then again, he dropped out in 2014 after his first year, I think, to pursue a career as a full-time social media entertainer in Los Angeles. I'm going to be a star.
It's because he made like $1 million already. Like, he was filthy rich in the middle of college and was like, I'm done.
Yeah, fuck this. Why am I here? Person.jpeg, welcome to the chat. He says, I will definitely watch all his Vines later. That sounds fun. See, 10 minutes. You might end up turning it off after 3.5, but, at least you tried. He quickly moved into a now notorious apartment complex in Los Angeles with other Vine stars. Basically, they took over this building, and it became a no-go area because there was noise and screaming and smells and horrible shit going on there. So they were all hyperactive brats basically in one location. I guess like you've got them in one area so they can't cause mass damage except to this building.
You got them corralled.
Got them all in one place. By April 2014, he had 105,000 Twitter followers, 361,000 Instagram followers, 31,000 likes on his Facebook page, who gives a fuck, and about 150,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel. That was, what are we looking at now? 8 years ago. He's got a lot more than that now. Holy shit.
Oh, he's been busy.
He has worked hard. Bless him. I mean, we can't, you've got to respect the grind. Like, I mean, he works hard, but like, he's got people guiding him at this point, and we'll get to why. A YouTube compilation video of his Vine work garnered more than 4 million views in the first week it was posted. In 2015, he was ranked as the 10th most influential figure on Vine, with his 6-second videos earning him hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising revenue. That's not bad. I think it was 600,000 in 1 year's advertising. That's not bad for Vine videos, you know?
We should do Vine. Oh, they don't have it anymore. Huh?
We should do Vine. I mean, we're doing TikTok. We're getting.
I'll let you hit me with the car.
Yeah, give me 600,000. I'm no problem at all with that. By that October, his Facebook videos alone had more than 300 million views.
Holy crap!
Logan started referring to his followers as Logang, a portmanteau of his first name and gang. Clever, you see. Branding. Stick that in a fucking hoodie. It'll sell millions. The
let's start an internet feud with him. Maybe we'll get famous.
Yeah, fucking give me that Streisand effect, you weirdo. In early 2015, Paul appeared on Law and Order Special Victims Unit, not the documentary. Just want to point that out. The TV show, allegations. Yeah. Oh. He also appeared on the Fox TV series Weird Loners. That's perfect right there. Where he appeared in the role of the Paul twins. So he played his brother as well. That's kind of odd. Maybe both of them were on there or something. He also starred in 2 episodes of the freeform series Stitches. We're getting right the way down now. Like, we started at like Law and Order, and we're like all the way fucking down here now. And in 2016, he starred in the YouTube Red movie, The Thinning. That's a terrible fucking name. Opposite Peyton List, who's like gone on to do some stuff. She's another influencer. In 2016, she's also hot. In 2016, Paul trained with drama coaches and the comedy troupe, The Groundlings and Upright Citizens Brigade. And that's the last time you'll ever hear the words Logan Paul and Upright Citizens in the same sentence ever again. Paul wrote the screenplay for an adult comedy, Airplane Mode, which is actually a decent name. Fair dues, like that works. Which has been described as an American Pie for Gen Z. Fuck off. And Paul himself as by Paul himself as Expendables with internet stars. I don't want to watch that.
What? So wait, they're gonna crash a plane full of internet stars? I'll watch that.
I would gladly watch a bunch of Vine people going down, film it 6 seconds at a time. Oh, 17,000 feet. Next one, 12,000 feet. Is fucking I didn't watch that.
Just a disclaimer: we don't actually want anybody to die, but it's funny to think about.
To die. We're being facetious. Don't worry. I don't really hate the man. I'm just trying to get a bit of rub from him. The film was originally planned to be released in 2017, but was eventually released on August the 2nd, 2019, after being delayed. He was also involved in a number of advertising campaigns for Hanes, PepsiCo, and HBO. Wow. In 2016, Comcast purchased a short-form digital TV series from Paul called Logan Paul Versus. Makes sense. You know, he's staying on brand.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. Just Logan Paul versus what? Like
food?
Yeah.
That would be
poverty.
Cool. Logan Paul gets fat. Because then I wouldn't have to be so jealous, and I could use my body for marketing too.
Yeah, exactly. In November 2017, Dwayne Johnson released on his own YouTube channel, Logan Paul has been cut from like all of The Rock's movies, a video starring himself and Paul, in which Johnson informs Paul that he'd been cut from all of Johnson's films and consoles Paul by making him the ambassador to his upcoming Baywatch film. So it's just an excuse to get Logan Paul involved and try and get the kids into the cinema to watch that awful Baywatch movie. I really hope The Rock doesn't do anything like that with him again. Like, The Rock is so big at this point, he doesn't need to. Hey kids, you like Logan Paul? He's an ambassador for Baywatch. Come and watch my film. It's like, you're fucking Dwayne Johnson. You don't need.
He's gonna need it if he keeps doing dumb shit like Jungle Cruise, though.
Oh god, that was awful. That was so bad. Why does it hit money? Why do I ask these questions? On November the 23rd, 2017, Paul released his new single, No Handlebars. A track that draws heavily on an interpolated sample. That's what it says. Of the sample Handlebars by the American alternative hip hop group Flowbots. I've never heard. You know them?
Dude, Flowbots were pretty big. Actually, a parody of their song got pretty big that was talking about I'm a big douche from the Scottsdale bars. That song's that one that's like, I can ride my bike with no handlebars, that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, so he's just ripping off stuff.
Okay, cool. I
he did with Jackass on Vine.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. The song was heavily criticized for its perceived sexual objectification of women, including a scene in its music video where Paul rides several women like a bicycle. What the fuck, dude?
He's such a zoosh.
He's such a zoosh. You fucking zoosh.
My new favorite word.
Yeah, we're going to use that as all sorts of different words. Flowbots frontman Jamie Laurie lambasted Paul, nice, for both the sexist lyrical content of the song and for the unauthorized use of the sample. Why didn't he start there?
Right?
He broke the law. To start with the law breaking, calling him the face of douchebag entitlement. That could be the title of his biography. Fuck me. Laurie would later go on to release a track with lyrics deriding Paul titled Handle Your Bars. Clever.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
He got into a rap beef with the Flowbots guy.
He got into a fucking they're releasing diss tracks with a fucking Paul brother. Paul did not respond to Laurie's comments nor to the backlash towards No Handlebars. However, he has since deleted the song from YouTube. Surprise! He likes to delete stupid stuff from YouTube. Speaking of which, on December the 31st, 2017, Paul uploaded a vlog to his YouTube channel depicting the recently deceased corpse of a man who had died by hanging himself in the, let me just try and make sure I get this right, Awagirahara, in the Awagiri at the base of Mount Fuji in Japan, known as the Suicide Forest due to its infamy as a suicide site. Initially intended to be part 3 of his Tokyo Adventures series, Paul and his group had planned to camp in the woods, but in response to finding the corpse, decided to notify the authorities and cancel their plans. They did that, but only after they'd filmed it and edited it and uploaded it to YouTube.
I kind of wish that they wouldn't have found the corpse and they would have spent the night and they would have got suicided in the forest. I'm not wishing death on anybody. I'm sorry.
I kind of, let's put it this way. I kind of wanted them to stay in this forest overnight and for their ridiculously overactive imaginations to have scared them with potential ghost sightings when it's actually just like fucking bird lands next to them and breaks a tree. Like, what's that?
Yeah,
you know, I want that video. That's the video
on
I want.
Themselves everywhere.
Just them not getting any sleep, waking up in the morning, going, oh, fucking hell, there was nothing there the whole time. Paul's video depicting the corpse and his group's reaction to it were criticized by celebrities and politicians. I think I remember Aaron Paul saying, I wish I didn't have the same last name as you. He's like, I worked my whole fucking life to get famous, and then I got Breaking Bad, and now I finally made it, and then you fuckers come along with the same last name, and now they think we're related, and fuck you. In addition, he was accused by other members of the YouTube community of being insensitive to suicide victims. Well, yeah, that's not even up for debate, really.
Just a little.
He filmed it, blurred out the body, thank God, and then edited it and uploaded it to the video. And nobody in his vicinity was like, this is not a good idea. So
no. Why would they think that's horrible?
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some backlash for this. He was also criticized for, this is actually almost as bad for me, for other misbehavior he was captured taking part in during the trip, including climbing onto a moving forklift at the Suzuki Fish Market, removing his clothes on a crowded street. That's like public indecency, I think. And then proceeding to fight passing citizens to fight with one of the people he was traveling with, and throwing this is the worst one. I mean, it's kind of morbidly funny, but also racist at the same time. Throwing a giant Pokemon ball at passing victims, including an officer of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, because Japanese people are Pokemon, apparently, in his mind.
I feel like, okay, have you watched the first Jackass movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with the cone that they put in front, like Wee Man's in the cone. Yeah.
And they were running around and taking off the party boys, taking off the policeman's hat and stuff like that.
In like the store and stuff. Yeah, I kind
of.
As
I know, they worked it out beforehand. This jackass just went and did horrible shit to people and then tried to say, "Oops, I'm sorry."
Yeah, Jackass had a very straightforward policy of like informing local authorities that they were going to be doing these stunts and like clearing it with the necessary people, and they always made it right afterwards. I doubt Logan Paul did any of those things.
I don't think so.
Several petitions were made to change.org, urging YouTube to delete Paul's channel, the largest of which received more than 500,000 signatures as of January the 12th, 2018. That'll stop him a petition. Those always work. As a result, every single time. Don't go to war in Iraq. 30 million people took to the streets of the UK to protest that, and it still happened. Close. Yeah, only half of the nation showed out. As a result of the backlash, Paul removed the video from his YouTube channel, following up with a written apology on Twitter on January the 1st, 2018. What a wonderful way to start the year. The following day, January the 2nd, a subsequent video apology was released to YouTube in which Paul described his behavior as a coping mechanism.
Coping with what?
Being a dick. Asking his fans... Oh, this is an interesting part. Asking his fans to stop defending his actions in the process. That's good.
Yes.
They should not be. Yeah, your fucking acolytes, your army of children worshippers should not be defending you to people who know better at this point.
That's actually pretty huge. Yeah, because I mean
that's actually a moment of good. Yeah. Well done.
That's
Logan
when
Paul.
You're making those jokes and you know they're real edgy and they land and you see somebody laughing the wrong way at one of the ones that kind of is too edgy. And you're like, ooh, you're laughing at that joke a little too much the wrong way, buddy.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah. On the 9th of January, YouTube issued a statement via their Twitter account condemning Paul's video. In the series of tweets, they said, "It's taken us a long time to respond, but we've been listening to everything you've been saying." Fuck off. We know that the actions of one creator cannot affect the community, so we'll have more to share soon on steps we're taking to ensure a video like this is never circulated again. They took way too long to apologize, and it's typical of YouTube. Whenever they're faced with a big scandal or like a threat to their platform or something that is going to affect their advertising revenue or whatever it is, they either go down one of two routes. They take too long to respond, or they have a knee-jerk reaction and loads of people suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
So I think
they are extreme in either direction.
I think they're always... I feel like YouTube exploded so quickly that the team there are constantly trying to play catch-up.
That makes sense.
It's kind of like the internet's Wild West, in that they're just making laws up as they go, as they need to. There's no foresight. They're just like, oh God, someone's put this. Oh God, we should make a law about that. Why didn't we think about that in advance? It's just the same thing over and over again. On January the 10th, YouTube announced it was removing Paul's channel from Google's preferred, big fucking deal, its preferred ad program, and New World Order, the sequel to his YouTube film The Thinning, was placed on hold, with the airing of Logan Paul versus being halted as well. He was also cut from Series 4 of YouTube Red Series Foursome, and the role of Alec Fixler was terminated. Big fucking deal. Nobody watched YouTube Red. On January 15th, Paul was seen at LAX by reporters from TMZ. He said that he'd learned a lot from his mistakes, and he believes he was being treated fairly. So he's like, that's good. That's actually humbleness right there. He was like, yes, I have been treated fairly. I have a huge platform. I did some terrible fucking things. I deserve everything that's coming to me. For once, I agree with this man, and I agree. It's so rare to see a celebrity be like, yeah, I deserved that. I needed to get that. So,
Well, he has these weird moments of like clarity where it's like, oh, he might actually be a good dude, and this might all just be like a persona,
an act. Yeah. The thing is, I think I do reckon at least 50% of it is an act. The stupidity, the bravado, the bro bullshit stuff, the toxic masculinity, whatever you want to call it. And he's probably is intelligent enough to realize what he's doing is wrong. I think the problem comes when you don't have the right management team around you, or the right people around you, the family, because his dad's a bit fucking mad. But like the people around you who would be like, you should not be doing that, and they're the kind of people that you would listen to, as opposed to someone who's like, just like a low level employee. But also we've got to look at the whole fame aspect, because if you are playing a character or if you're doing a gimmick, sometimes it can take over and your ego can get out of control, and you stop listening to that voice at the back of your head that's like, pump the brakes a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at Joaquin Phoenix and friggin' Andy Kaufman, man.
Yeah, they took that shit far.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix even had to, he's come back from the brink, but he got well into the depth of like, I've lost my mind, I'm retiring from acting. It's like, no, stop it, get out. You're not undercover or anything. Go back to yourself. So when asked whether or not he deserves a second chance, Paul replied, everyone deserves second chances, bro. I mean, I agree with that. Everyone does deserve second chances, as long as they've recognized that they've made a mistake and they've corrected their behavior and they've made amends and they've done the best they can to keep themselves at a higher standard. I think everybody deserves second chances and third chances as well. You just can't keep on making the same mistakes. In response, he donated $1 million to suicide prevention agencies, a quarter of which is going to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is good.
Yeah, that's noble.
Yeah, that's decent. Probably could have been a bit more. He probably made more money as a result of this. But yeah, anyway. In a response to the controversy, Paul hired Mike Majlak, a former marketing manager at a furniture company, Lovesack. Really? There's a company called Lovesack?
Lovesack?
That sounds gross.
They better make beds.
They better make bean bags. So you can say, enjoy your Lovesack bag. To make sure that no bad things happen. So that's good. He's actually hired someone to stand behind him and go, no, don't do that. That's a bad idea, you fucking man-child. On February 4th, Paul officially returned to his daily vlog on YouTube after taking a 3-week hiatus. YouTube CEO Susan was I can't pronounce her name. Wojcicki, I think it is. Wojcicki, whatever. Susan.
Close.
Yeah, Susan Wojcicki said on February the 12th that Paul did not violate YouTube's three-strike policy and did not meet the criteria for being banned from the platform. YouTube are really inconsistent with applying that rule because, they're usually in favor of their cash cows. Like if there are awful people who have got big channels and who do big numbers on their platform, they're typically much more forgiving than, say, someone who uploads an anime reaction video and immediately gets their channel struck down, so it seems a little bit unfair the way they apply, but again, they're playing catch up constantly, so it is what it is. In the wake of the controversy regarding the suicide video, Maverick Apparel, a brand for juniors and kids, threatened Paul with legal action for giving his clothing line a similar name, Maverick by Logan Paul, believing shoppers are confusing their line with Paul's, resulting in a deep decline in sales because of the controversy. So that makes sense.
Ouch.
Really. Yeah.
Gosh.
On February the 9th, 2018, YouTube suspended all advertising on Paul's channel due to his pattern of behavior, referring to a joke he tweeted about the Tide Pod Challenge, which, if you remember that was a whole thing where kids were trying to chew on Tide Pods because they were brightly colored. Fuck's sake. Removing a fish from his pond to jokingly give it CPR, which, okay.
That's just dumb.
And this is the worst one. This is like psychopath level shit. Tasering 2 dead rats.
Why?
I know. Why? You crazy person. Just fucking get out of your own way, kid.
I kind of hope that well, he didn't. Never mind. I was going to wish some more Ebola and stuff.
That guy's done nothing. Thanks a load. His revenue was temporarily halted as a result of this. And the suspension. He broadcast live on Twitch for the first time 2 weeks later on February the 26th, YouTube restored ads, Jesus, on Paul's channel. However, his channel was still on a 90-day probation period, during which time content from his channel was not eligible to be on YouTube's trending tab. It doesn't matter. He's such a big news item at that point. He doesn't need to be on their trending tab. People will go to see what stupid shit he's done now. It's the Howard Stern effect. Like, people will listen to see what he's going to say next if they like him or hate him, really.
Right.
In January 2019, Paul remarked on his Impulsive podcast. Oh, what a name. This guy's got a real knack for names, hasn't he? His comment was it male only March? We're going to attempt to get gay for just 1 month. Stop, man. He received widespread criticism for implying that being gay is a choice. Obviously, that was going to happen, you idiot. With LGBTQ plus organization GLAAD responded to Paul's statement on Twitter, writing, "This is not how it works, Logan Paul." Yes. That's pretty much, you can apply that to a lot of things he's done. That's not how it works, man.
Somebody needs to follow him around saying that, dude.
Fucking hell, yeah. He needs one of the like the Roman consuls had those people that would follow them around going, "You're just a man. You're just a man." He needs someone going, "Put that stick down. Stop being a serial killer." In March 2019, Paul released what has been described as a mockumentary exploring the flat earth theory. In the video, he interviewed many self-proclaimed flat earthers and spoke at the 2018 Flat Earth International Conference, which took place in Denver, Colorado, because of course it did. The idea of Logan Paul doing a mockumentary is honestly enough to make me want to go and live in the woods. It's the death of satire. At that point, like,
I feel like he just got called on his shit, and he was really a flat earther doing all of that. And he's like, you know what? We got to use that footage. Let's flip it. It was a satire mockumentary. It wasn't a documentary we were shooting.
It's a the Room situation, isn't it? It's like, oh, I intended it all along. It's a black comedy. Yeah, it's not because I'm a shit filmmaker. Logan Paul was sued by Plainless Pictures in December 2020 for the aforementioned 2017 incident in the forest when he posted a video including a recently deceased suicide victim. Plainless Pictures accused him of posting the video in order to escape a movie deal he had with them, where he would star in, write, and produce their own airplane mode film. They also claimed that the video led to Google suspending their contract with them, leaving them $3 million in debt. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that calculating. Like, why would he not want to make the movie? Like,
well, that's like evil to be like,
yeah,
I'm gonna screw this company over just because I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, by filming a corpse. Like, what? Yeah. All the ways of getting out of it. Like, get drunk and go on a bender or something. Say something. Just like fall over on the paparazzi and vomit on them. Also, don't like film a corpse. You know,
there's other ways.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I think they're just reaching, to be honest. I think they were in debt and they wanted money from him, basically. Yeah. In 2021, Paul competed on the 5th season of The Masked Singer as Grandpa Monster. I don't watch The Masked Singer.
Really? I haven't watched. I watched it really, really closely, like the first 2 seasons. And we did like a multi-family guessing game.
Oh, okay, cool.
Via text and stuff with it.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, this is dumb now.
It's just like a kind of a watch along. Like, I get that. Like, it's basically you're less watching the program and more kind of spending time with people via text message. Like, I get that. You know, it's just never appealed to me. It's just not my thing. So Grandpa Monster, he was unmasked on his second appearance, where one of his clues was a foreshadowing of his boxing match with Floyd Mayweather Jr. At that point, it's like, just don't bother. Everyone knows who that is. Let's talk about his boxing career while we're on Floyd Mayweather. Holy shit. I'll make it real quick. In my opinion, the whole thing is a work. It's a fix. As far as I can tell, he's only had 2 legit fights. Both of them were against fellow non-boxer KSI. He drew one of them, although it was a majority draw. One of the judges actually scored it in favor of KSI, and he lost the professional one to KSI, where it went to the scorecards and KSI won. And then a year later, he drew with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Are you telling me that the same guy that lost to a fucking amateur boxer is drawing with possibly the greatest defensive boxer of the last 50 years. No.
He trained really, really hard, though, man.
For a year? He didn't, though. It's like doing shit videos and stuff for a year.
Yeah. It's because Mayweather held him up. That's why.
Literally did at one point. Like, Mayweather realized he basically right hooked him in the face. And he's like, oh, shit, come here. And just like hung on to him for dear life. It's like, no, don't go down. Jesus, you're never going to get up. And again, Mayweather's like half this kid's size. And he's twice his age, ran rings around him, basically. Yeah. This is the thing. Mayweather is a different level. So the idea that he would draw with he beat Manny Pacquiao quite easily. This guy is one of the few undefeated boxers to have retired. Joe Calzaghe, Rocky Marciano, a few others. He retired undefeated, and he fought at the absolute pinnacle of the sport for a decade. Are you telling me he's drawing with Logan Paul, who's drawn one, lost one? No way. They did it for the money.
Yeah, and they got some of mine, and I'm mad because I wanted to watch him get knocked out. Damn it!
And you know what? We've got to give credit to Logan Paul. He keeps on doing this. He knows that people want to see him get knocked out. And he keeps on charging people, what, $40 for the privilege of like, maybe this one will do it. Maybe this MMA guy will do it. Maybe the greatest boxer of the last 30 years will do it. But no, not a single one has done it. And he keeps on getting money. He's a very good heel. He's a very effective bad guy. He's a big box office draw. But there's going to come a point where people wise up to it, because there's only so many times you can go to the well. He's made tens, possibly hundreds of millions of dollars at this point. So, you know, who cares? And all of the knockouts that he's done with MMA guys, you know, Tyrone Woodley and Ben Askren, they look dodgy. They look pretty suspect to me.
Was it him or his brother that knocked out the fighter in this last fight? Because it was just a fight the other week, I think. And I don't know which one of them's which.
I can't remember either. I'm sure it's Logan Paul who's knocked out Tyrone Woodley and Ben Askren. But like these guys, when you watch the videos back, yes, they get hit hard and face plant, but like people have thrown fights much easier, and they were both like kind of getting to a stage where they were retiring from MMA, and they were offered $500,000 plus to take a dive, in my opinion. And like, I've had 6 concussions in my life. I would gladly get paid $500,000 to let Logan Paul punch me on the temple and knock me out. You know, like I would take a dive for that.
Yeah.
All of mine came for free. So
for $500,000, I would fight him.
Yeah. $500,000. I would take a dive for Logan Paul. I would let him punch me in the face and knock me out. I wake up, I'll have a headache for a few days. I might lose a few brain cells, but who cares? They're disappearing rapidly anyway. You know, I will take it for $500,000. Fuck it. This is one of the bright spots, though. He was allegedly offered a deal by the UFC. It's currently supposedly in the works, but has refused to sign until these demands are met. Not his demands for himself. He wants the MMA fighting community in the UFC to be paid a flat minimum fee of $50,000 a fight. Currently, the minimum most people get is $12,000 a fight. That's not enough.
Really?
Yeah. Some people in the MMA who fight on the prelims of the shows and the pay-per-views, they only get $12,000.
That's not much to get.
It's not enough.
Or
you know, they might only fight 2 or 3 times a year. So it's nowhere near enough.
Yeah,
because they've got training camps and people that like the professionals they work with. And yes, they'll have sponsors, but you know, the sponsors might pay like a couple of grand each. Like that, you're not making a living. So the idea of every fighter getting a flat minimum fee of $50,000 per fight is fair.
Yeah.
Especially when you're putting your life and your physical health on the line. Jesus.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I totally agree with that.
He's also said no. Sorry.
I was going to say, in case you were wondering, I was distracted because my cat was being an ass underneath me.
Oh.
And now he's okay. Sorry.
Trying to attack your leg. This is why the dog's downstairs with my wife. She would be a pain if she were up here.
I didn't know he was in here when we started.
Sneaky the little sod. So not only did he demand that all the fighters get paid $50,000 per fight, but he demanded that the UFC, which in fairness is making hundreds of millions of dollars a year, like this, let's not beat around the bush. They're making a lot of money. He demanded that they give complete medical coverage to every single one of their fighters. I agree with that.
Why we're at it, they didn't.
I know they don't. They expect that because it's the old WWE thing where the wrestlers are independent contractors. So they have to pay for their own travel, their own hotel, their own medical, their own blood, their own tax, blah, blah, and all of that. But if they go and work for the opposition, you best bet they're, getting shit canned straight away. So like you're independent, but you can't work for whoever you want, only for them, and you don't get paid as much as you should. That sounds like an employee to me. Pay their taxes and give them medical, you bastards. But yeah, that's typical. Someone tried that shit with me in the UK when I was working in the radio industry, and by the time, because I outright rejected their new contract, by the time they came back to me with a counter offer a couple of months later, the ratings had gone through the roof, and we'd won a couple of awards, so my ask had doubled.
There you go.
So I was like, yeah, I'll sign as an independent contractor, but I am going to work for other people, and I'm getting paid £150 a show. So nice. Fuck you. it was a wonderful feeling in my life. But yeah, I agree with Logan Paul on this. I mean, quite honestly, there's a debate to be had about universal healthcare in your country anyway. You have the money for it. Give people free healthcare. Let them live longer and better lives.
Yeah, now we just live longer. Well, we exist longer.
You exist. That's the thing. You're existing. You're not quite living. So, like, I remember a couple of years ago, my wife and I went back to Wales for a weekend away, and she had the beginnings of a really nasty cold. So I was like, that's fine. We'll just go down the road to the nearest hospital. And we've got a big hospital, like 10 miles away. So we went there. It was a Sunday. We walked in. We found where we were going. She was amazed that the car park was free. She's like, really? You get free parking in this hospital? I was like, yeah, it's not England, sweetheart. You don't have to pay for anything here. She's like, oh, okay, whatever. And we went in. We sat down. It took us about 15 minutes. We were seen by a doctor. The doctor just handed her a prescription. And she was like, oh, okay, how do I pay for this? And he's like, no, you don't pay for it. And she's like, but in England, we pay £7.50 for every prescription. She's like, no, you don't pay for anything here. The Welsh NHS is free, completely free. There are, to the point where there are ambulances that will pick people up for free if they can't make their appointment. Like, they don't even have to get a taxi. There are like community ambulances that go around and pick people up and bring them to the hospital so they can go and see their eye specialist or whatever. That's
pretty amazing.
It's fucking awesome, dude. And this is one of the major things I miss about living in Wales. Here we have to pay for more of our prescriptions. Anyway, so yeah, Logan Paul, I agree with you. Boxers should be MMA employees, as they are, should be getting $50,000 minimum per fight, and they should be getting complete medical coverage because they're athletes. Give them their coverage. Look after your people. Paul also claims he is red-green colorblind. However, he's been parodied and criticized by YouTube personalities such as Ethan Klein and iDubbbz for faking his reactions in a video which he used color corrective glasses for the first time. Paul himself has admitted that he embellished and exaggerated his reactions to the glasses, but added that he did not lie about his impairment. I kind of side with him on this one. He probably is red-green colorblind, but to kind of put on the glasses and then go, a whole new world. It's like, fuck off.
It's, it's entertainment.
It's views. I get it. Yeah, it's just, kids will believe that shit. They'll believe that that's real. And like, that's, when you're bringing someone into your world and you're making them trust you and fall in love with you, and then you're like, oh, buy my shit. It's like, it's a bit dodgy. There's a million other sketchy shit things that he's been accused of over the years, but I don't really want to cover them because like he's a bit litigious, and even though we're not exactly we're not exactly Joe Rogan, who knows if he sees this video. There was that thing where he supposedly took part in one of the LA riots and broke into a mall there.
That was in Scottsdale. That was here in Arizona.
Was that Arizona?
Yeah, it was Scottsdale Fashion Square.
Right. Okay. Yeah. He was pictured in there, and people were like, he was taking part in a riot, and he was like, no, I was filming it for a video. It's like, oh, it didn't seem like it, mate.
Journalist.
But at the end, I will end with some of the powerfully stupid tweets that he put on Twitter from the age of 16 onwards. Now we should say that he was like 16 to 19 when he posted most of these, but I don't remember, even though social media wasn't around when I was 16, like I don't remember being this racist when I was 16.
Yeah.
I will be very careful because some of these, I don't even know if I can say them. So let's start at the top. Usain looks like an older, plumper version of the starving African boy, the one on those commercials. That's from when he was 16.
Bolt?
Usain Bolt.
Oh.
Why are you picking on Usain Bolt, you fucking brat? Girls' tweets always get more favorites and retweets only because they have tits and ass. Hashtag cheaters. Like his tweets are the musings of Chaucer or something. Fuck you. We're not going to read your garbage tweets. Yes, we'd rather look at tits and ass than read your dullard musings. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, 10 times out of 10, if the choice is TNA or look at Logan Paul, it's TNA.
Yeah, give me the TNA every time. America's role in the world. We don't have one. Survival of the fittest, motherfucker. You think lions are helping meerkats find food?
Huh.
Has he ever watched the Discovery Channel?
Is he allowed to? He can't do world policy for us. He's
no. Well, you never know. He might be your next president. Christ. America's role in the world. We don't have one. Survival of the fittest, motherfucker. Okay, so you're going to go down the evolutionary survival of the fittest thing. That's fine. But you think lions are helping meerkats find food? That's such a weird sentence.
See, I think he's saying how weird it is that lions don't help him, so why would we help anybody else? But lions also don't go take a crap right in the middle of a meerkat's area. They don't drag their trash over there and just dump it like we do to Malaysia.
Yeah, and they don't they don't destroy meerkats' homes or kind of go up to them in their homes and charge them rent. That's not what's that. That's not. Oh Jesus. Anyway,
same thing though.
Next tweet. If you have cornrows, you're twice as likely to get your shit lit up. Proven fact. That's well. I mean, I don't like cornrows, but
I don't know what he means by that, but I'll take it.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think he's talking about douchebags who have cornrows, but the fuck are you? Global warming my ass. Here we go. That sounds like the kind of thing I get when I'm having a flare up of my Crohn's disease. So this is that's like a 2013 tweet. So again, he was like 17 or something like that. But Christ, even at that age, it's not a thing. Criteria number 1 for asking questions to the president: must have a speech impediment. This is during the Obama administration. Not sure who he's targeting there, whether it's Obama or people with speech impediments, but either way, fuck you, kid. This is probably the worst one. I'm going to have to edit out some of these because I'm afraid that we're going to get banned for saying some of the things that he puts in his tweets. But at a restaurant, annoying child behind us. I wonder how much that boy weighs. My noose only supports 80 pounds.
Good Lord. He's going to hang a little kid?
These are, let me just point out, these are all still on his Twitter account. He has not deleted them. That shit is there. Yeah, you could type in that exact sentence. Of course, Logan Paul is the type of guy to be a climate change denier. Of course he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to type that exact sentence, if you type in, I wonder how much that boy weighs, my noose only supports 80 pounds onto Twitter, that tweet will still come up from 2013, 14 or something. An 18-year-old tweeted that. He wants to hang children. Transcendentalists are tree-hugging slur word for gay people who have nothing better to do than write meaningless run-on sentences attempting to be different. Just it's horrible.
Did he say that in a run-on sentence by chance?
He did. Clever. The last one, I'm not even sure how much of it I can say. Watermelon makes your penis bigger.
Oh,
and he talks about one ethnic minority. Soy increases the estrogen levels in your body, decreasing penis size. Other ethnic minority. It's like, that's from 2014. That's when he was 18. Fucking hell. Now you can see, you can say like, oh, it was 9 years ago, 10 years ago, all you want. I kind of, people definitely do grow and they do learn from their mistakes in their past. But there is a point at which, like, the saturation of awfulness has to be cut off at a reasonably young age, because even though you might be like, oh my God, I was an arsehole until I was 18, 25, 30, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
That is still going to have a major impact on you for the rest of your life, because it's the way you have behaved and it will kind of determine the way you react to certain situations in the future. So this is the thing with Logan Paul. He is incredibly successful and he should be applauded for his success because he works hard, and elements of that success are to be applauded and are a useful lesson for younger people and people who want to achieve things in life with maybe not the greatest set of skills available to a human being. That is a good thing. The way he's gone about it, some of the things he's done, the behavior, the patterns of behavior, sometimes at worst, at least they are questionable. At worst, they are, how are you not in prison? Some of them, at least like arrested. I feel there are people in the UK now who are being charged with hate crimes for writing some of the stuff that I've just read out on his Twitter account. They're going to prison for this.
Here's the thing about writing, and he could argue perhaps maybe he's trying to make a joke, and you can't get the tone or the inflection or the way it's supposed to land. And that's why you write jokes and you tell them out loud and you try them and see if they land before you just throw it out to the millions of people that are following you.
Yeah.
And
I mean, in fairness to him, at the time, he only had a couple of 100,000 followers. Yeah, that doesn't make any better.
Yeah, it's, again, like you're saying, he did a whole bunch of good things, but with influencers, I honestly, I gotta say, yes, take some of the stuff they say, but the most important thing is to hone your craft and become good at it, whether it's writing comedy or doing stand-up stuff or creating content. Do it without just trying to be a jackass and insane all on your own and for shock value. You gotta design and craft it and make it art.
And you will get more confident as you do that in yourself, in your ability, you'll make more connections, you'll meet people. And I think a lot of this goes back to, there was a book released probably over a decade ago now. I go back to wrestling every time for an example, by a wrestling personality called Eric Bischoff, who was the vice president of WCW. And his biography is called Controversy Creates Cash. It's a very alliterative, it's a good title. I don't like Eric Bischoff. I think he's a bit of a one-trick pony who got lucky. And he's also an arsehole. Just, I have that.
Isn't he tied in with some reality TV shows and shit?
Oh, yeah. Like, he's produced a load of, with the guy from the Wonder Years, not Fred Savage, the other kid. Yeah. Eric Bischoff is an arsehole, but he made a point in that biography that he pointed out something that was going to happen in the next 10 years, that people were going to take controversial hot button topics, they were going to drum up a furore around the subject and then cash in on that personality that they've created, that attention. And I really do hope we are beyond this now, because this shit has been going on for like 10 years, this swirling vortex of attention and anger and division, and it's not healthy for a society or a world at large when we really need to be coming together for the most part. So Logan Paul is kind of he's so controversial and so emblematic of that type of era and that behavior that he featured in fucking Bo Burnham's song on about on Inside, about like, is this reality? Am I really experiencing this? If it is, I don't want any part of it. He featured in that song. So that's the level of infamy we're at now. So I have to ask, I mean, obviously Logan Paul, pretty much everyone who is of a certain age below, like, I don't know, say 65, knows who this guy is familiar with his back catalogue of disastrous behaviors. What do you make of Logan Paul? It's a very complex one, this, I think.
It is because I want to rate him like 90 just because I hate him.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I hate him because I'm jealous a little bit, I think.
A little bit. There is that. There is like 25% of me that's like, I kind of want some of that kid's life, you know?
Right. Well, he does some fun things and cool things too. And
hangs out with interesting people.
He has the opportunity, though, to redeem himself and use his voice to kind of change and show how he's changing and evolving and why. And he's going to bring a whole generation of people with him, maybe.
Absolutely. He's got so many followers on so many different platforms. The Logan Paul that advocated for minimum pay for athletes and fighters and for universal healthcare for them, that is the Logan Paul I want to see across the board from now on. I don't need any more of this attention seeking. I've got your hat, Floyd Mayweather. You know, I don't need any more of that guy. You're 26 going on 27. You'll be 30 is literally around the corner. You'll blink, you'll wake up, and you'll be 30 years old. Don't be that guy when you're 30, please.
I think because he's done a couple of bad things, but he legit remorse.
Oh,
he seems to know better and trying, and he's trying to do better. So that automatically takes him way down. And unfortunately, he's not going to get as high of a score as I want to give him.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like a part of me wants to go, oh, fucking Logan Paul, 99. But like, you have to respect that he has changed. He has at least shown levels of remorse for his behavior. He is successful, and maybe he is growing in a way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He could very well just be the Antichrist and bring in peace, and then Anyway, I'm gonna go just with this. What I imagined his high school scores are on his tests, and I'll go with a 75.
Sure, I'll take a 75. That sounds about right. I'd have been happy with a 75 in high school, to be fair. Yeah, I kind of get that. I knew this was going to be a difficult one to score because, again, it's the infamy thing, isn't it? Like, he's a notorious person, but at the same time, you can like attribute so many different things to it. Like, I didn't even get into his father. His father's just, there's a lot of weird shit going on with his dad. His dad's in a lot of his videos behaving really odd. Like, imagine growing up with that guy as your role model.
My poor kid.
Yeah, and then like becoming famous at such a young age and like having all of this rushed on you. It's the Justin Bieber thing, isn't it? It's like, you get famous so young, but it's like a certain age. Like Michael Jackson was young at was famous at like 3, right? Or 5 or whatever it was, right?
Really
and it
young,
just fucked him up completely. Like he was next level batshit crazy. The shit Michael Jackson did is purely the kind of thing that someone with all of the money and none of the maturity does. Right? The decisions, the financial, all of that. When you are famous as a kind of a teenager, I feel like that's a problem because it does stunt your development.
Oh, I think you're like, I'm an adult now, I'm making money, and this is how I am.
Therefore, I make the decisions. But like, no kid should be making decisions like that.
Not necessarily,
you know?
No,
yeah.
But
so
I have high hopes though that he's gonna transition. Maybe this whole thing has been a ploy the entire time to show people how you can grow and change.
I would love it if that were the case. I would love it if Logan Paul and his brother and any social media people, because there's so many fucking idiots on there. So many YouTube, X-Vine, TikTok people. I really do hope, and it's about finding peace or making peace with who you are and recognizing the darkness or the flaws, the character problems, the personality traits that aren't so healthy, accepting them, working on them where you can, and accepting that you are going to be an imperfect human being, but you should try your best as often as you can and maybe give yourself a break from time to time. I do hope that happens for the Paul brothers, because while we've joked about stuff, I really do want them to be successful in the right way and to kind of be an example to the younger generation who, as far as I can tell, for the most part, are way more mature than I was at their age. But some of them have been led astray by some of the antics of these people. Show them that you can do that for a while, but then you have to grow up,
Yep.
So. Yeah. But there we go. I will take 75. So it's kind of slight to end the series, somewhat of a low scoring episode, but really amazing characters. Joe Low.
Fun stories, yeah.
Fucking fun stories, man. Billions siphoned off again. We love that evil, manipulative, I'm going to run off now with your money bullshit because they're easy to not like. And Logan Paul, who is kind of a classic idiot because they have a certain position in society, and a portion of that position they have is because they're stupid to a certain extent, you know. So, or their actions are stupid, we should say. He's probably not as stupid as he lets on. But there we go. That's the end of season 1. Derek,
I don't even know what that means.
It just means we go straight into season 2. It just like I just want to be able to say to people, I'm on season 3 of my podcast. We've made this many episodes, but actually looking at the time now, we'll have done 32 hours, 32 or 33 hours of content across 25 episodes.
Wow.
With 4,500 listeners across that entire segment of time. So thank you so much to everyone who's listened to and downloaded and commented on and been a part of season 1. It's been an amazing journey. We kind of started this just wanted to have a bit of fun, hoping to make a bit of money from it, which we're at $10 now, Derek.
Hell
$10
yeah.
of advertising money. Hell
in
yeah.
the loot.
Thank you, Anchor. And we're putting out video podcasts now, which are doing really well. Can't believe the final idiot of the season is someone I know about. Pernicious Rose. That we're glad we could appeal to your knowledge of idiocy, but there'll be more obscure idiots in season 2, so be sure to stick around for that. If you guys want to follow us on social media, our let me think about this now. Our Instagram is at History's Greatest Idiots, and our Twitter is at Greatest Idiots. You can visit our Patreon and support us officially and give us money and get free stuff at patreon.com/History's Greatest Idiots. Please be our first Patreon. And that's our show for this week. So if you are in a position where you have access to a bunch of people's pensions, or you have a social media following that numbers more than the population of the United Kingdom, maybe don't go mad and steal all their shit or act like a douchebag. Just don't do it. Just be the bigger person and leave the money on the table and earn it properly, or don't, film dead bodies in the forest. Fucking no. Oh God. Anyway, that's our show for this week. Derek, would you like to say goodbye, please?
I would. Everybody, you've been amazing. This is awesome. Yes. I can't wait to keep going, and we'll see you next time.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, Derek has a new show of his own. Please, Derek, tell us quickly about your show.
This is a perfect opportunity for that. I started a scripted comedy podcast called Adventures in College Safety that's sort of loosely based on my time as a security guard working at a community college right out of high school. And it's a goofy, fun time, and pranks and hookers and really offensive, horrible humor. And it should be a cartoon for your mind. Yeah. So
the mash of college humor. I love it. It's so good, honestly. Where can everybody find it?
It's anchor.fm/Adventures in College Safety, or wherever you get your podcast streaming platforms like Stitcher and Apple and Google and all of that.
And also, you're on Instagram. Is that right?
On Instagram at Adventures in College Safety, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Adventures in College Safety. You can listen to the podcast straight on Facebook too, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you so much, and we will see you again in a few weeks. You haven't heard the last of us, but season 2, episode 1 is on the way. Goodbye now.